When we think of the Renaissance and we think of these pieces, a lot of the time it was royalty pictured. There was never a black princess, but I just felt like they definitely existed. They just were excluded from history. I guess that's why it's so important for me to go back to my history and try to rewrite it. I'm Tia, and I own the women's wear clothing line Tia Adeola. I make luxury women's wear clothing, heavily inspired by the Renaissance period, so you see a lot of ruffle, a lot of pearls. I just fell in love with art history personally, garments and the clothing. The way they were portrayed through just brushstrokes was so incredible to me. To remain authentic as a designer, you have to have messaging behind your clothing, because I feel like the whole reason why we make these clothes and put out these collections is because we have something to say. Going back to those time periods, rewriting history through fashion and making it more inclusive. Seeing Black women in this lens of luxury, I think it's very important for young girls. Nigeria for me is home. That's like where I grew up, and that's where my whole family is. I moved to London when I was 11 for high school, but it taught me to be very independent. I mean, I moved to New York when I was 18 years old by myself. I'm 23 now, so being here and just becoming an adult, I'm growing to become a very confident woman. That's just how I want every woman to feel. In the midst of that, I'm learning to be unapologetic and just bold as a woman, as a Black woman. 2016, Snapchat was like really cool. So I was always posting like my outfits of the day. And I would get like overwhelmingly good reactions. And so I started selling the particular tops I was making at the time. I posted my first red ruffle dress on Instagram, and it went viral, and a stylist pulled it for an editorial for Nylon magazine. That was my first time ever being featured in any publication. I try to stay as original as possible. I typically don't go searching for inspiration on Instagram. So I typically will give myself a week to look at art, go fabric shopping. I love fabric shopping. Finding new things, it's exciting, it's refreshing. And sometimes I look at a piece of fabric and I already know like what I'm gonna do or what's gonna look good. This is the SS21 collection. I've been exploring the French Revolution a little bit. My new collection is heavily inspired by Marie Antoinette. You know how important it is for me for Black women to be seen through this lens of luxury. So when making the collection, I went for rich fabrics. This is raw silk. There aren't many suits for the young woman who is working but still wants to look chic and classy and luxe. This took about 30 days to make. It's all hand embroidered, and it has a matching corset. It's sort of a juxtaposition, putting the corset with such a free-flowing, large ruffle robe. This is also one of my favorites. Hand-sewn, hand-beaded. It was actually made by a tailor in Harlem. There's a great community of African, Black tailors, seamstresses, designers. Bringing jobs back to the community was very important to me.
Stop leaning back, guys.
We're rolling! Well, cut, please, and action!
Ebony, play with your gloves if you want. Perfect.
I thought about doing a film when I was quarantined in Nigeria, right? And I started writing the script. It's an all-Black female cast, and the butlers are white and they're men. You see women taking on things that are typically done by men. Combining my film with my clothing and my fashion, there's just so much to do. There's so much to say.
It's a wrap. with each other, interact with your hair. Keep it going, keep it going. Lean back and forth if you want.
When I am visiting Nigeria and I'm like getting dressed on a day-to-day, my mom is like, you shouldn't wear that, it's too short. It's too revealing. 80% of my clothes are completely see-through. Young artists like myself from Nigeria are the ones, forcing the older generations to get with the times. The fact that there are still people that think because a girl is wearing something see-through, it's tacky or tasteless. I just think that's so backwards. It's chic and it's high fashion. It shows confidence. That's how I try to tackle society through fashion, even just dealing with my family to begin with. I'm expanding beyond apparel. I feel like that's something the pandemic forced me to do. I'm releasing my eyewear soon, footwear, accessories, working on directing more videos. I don't want to limit myself to anything. A big percentage of all the great things that happen for me are because I've previously been nice to someone and they just pulled a favor for me. Just no matter what you do, be nice to everyone. Just try to be emotionally intelligent. You're always gonna need people around you, and it will just make it so much easier if the people around you want to work with and for you. Just be humble, be a good person, be chill.